there's a very good chance that something in your refrigerator right now, something you're planning to heat up and eat later today, is doing the opposite of what you think it's doing. Here's what almost nobody tells you. After the age of 60, your body handles food differently than it did at 40. Your stomach produces less acid. Your immune system responds a little slower, and that means certain leftovers, foods that are perfectly fine when they're fresh, can become genuinely risky when they're stored and reheated the wrong way. Not because the food is bad, but because of what happens to it between the first time you cook it and the second time you heat it. Today, I'm going to walk you through 4 common foods that you should be very careful about reheating after 60. And I'll tell you right now, the 4th one on this list is a food that almost everyone considers completely healthy and reheats without a second thought. So stay with me until the end, because that one genuinely surprises most people. I'm William. Every week on this channel, I take the research coming out of food science and the world's leading health institutions. I translate it into plain English, and I share the practical information that most doctor's appointments never have time to cover, especially for those of us over 60. No hype, no fear-mongering, no miracle cures, just what the science actually says with the sources linked in the description below. And before we start, I have one small request. Tell me in the comments, which of these 4 foods do you reheat the most often? I read every single comment and I choose future video topics based on what you tell me. This channel is a community, and that community is you. Alright, let's start with food number 1, cooked rice. This one surprises people because rice feels so harmless. But here's the issue, and it has almost nothing to do with the reheating itself, and everything to do with what happens to rice while it sits in your refrigerator. Uncooked rice naturally carries a bacterium called Bacillus cereus. Cooking the rice doesn't fully eliminate it, and here's the important part. When cooked rice is left out at room temperature or stored too long, that bacterium can multiply and produce a toxin, and that toxin is heat-resistant, which means that when you reheat the rice, the heat might kill the bacteria, but it does not destroy the toxin that's already there. This is exactly why so many cases of what people call fried rice food poisoning happen. It's a well-documented, well-understood phenomenon in food safety science. And here's why this matters more after 60. As we age, our stomachs produce less acid, and stomach acid is one of our body's first lines of defense against foodborne bacteria and toxins. Our immune systems also respond a little more slowly. So a plate of reheated rice that might give a 30-year-old a mild stomachache can hit a 70-year-old much harder. The stakes are simply higher for us. Think of leftover rice like a house left unlocked. The longer it sits, the more chance something unwelcome moves in. And reheating doesn't evict the trouble, it just warms the house back up. Here's what to do instead. Cook only as much rice as you'll eat when you can. If you do have leftovers, don't leave the rice sitting on the counter. Spread it on a plate so it cools quickly, then refrigerate it within 1 hour. Eat it within a day and reheat it only once. If rice has been sitting in the fridge for a couple of days, it's not worth the risk. Let it go. The golden detail. The danger isn't really the reheating. It's the cooling. The toxin forms while the rice sits warm. So the single most important habit is getting that rice into the refrigerator fast, within the hour. Cool it quick, and you've solved most of the problem before it ever starts. Food number 2, cooked chicken. Now, chicken is the protein most of us reach for when we're trying to eat well. Lean, versatile, doctor-approved. And there's nothing wrong with chicken itself. But there are 2 things worth understanding about reheating it after 60. The first is texture and digestion. When you reheat chicken, especially in the microwave on high, a second time, the proteins tighten and toughen. You've probably noticed reheated chicken can go rubbery. That's the protein structure changing. And here's the part that matters for us. As we age, our digestion becomes less efficient at breaking down these tightened proteins. That's part of why heavy reheated leftovers can sit like a stone and leave you feeling sluggish and bloated. Tougher protein means harder work for an aging digestive system. The second is food safety, and it's the bigger issue. Chicken is one of the foods most associated with bacteria like Salmonella and Campylobacter. When it's not cooled quickly, stored properly, or reheated evenly, and microwaves are notorious for uneven heating, leaving cold spots, you can end up eating chicken that was never brought back to a safe temperature all the way through. And again, after 60, with slower stomach acid and a slower immune response, that's a risk we want to take more seriously than we did at 30. Here's what to do instead. Honestly, one of the best things you can do with leftover chicken is eat it cold, sliced into a salad, a sandwich, or a wrap. It's safer and easier to digest that way. If you do reheat it, heat it thoroughly and evenly, all the way through, not just warm on the outside. And like everything on this list, reheat it once, not over and over across the week. The golden detail. If you're reheating chicken in the microwave, stop halfway, stir or turn it, and let it sit a moment before finishing. That simple pause evens out those cold spots, the exact places where bacteria survive. Even heat is safe heat. If this is useful to you, do me one quick favor. Hit that subscribe button and turn on the bell. Every week I share clear, science-backed health information made for people over 60. The kind of practical knowledge that's easy to use and genuinely worth knowing. And if there's someone in your life who reheats their leftovers without thinking twice, a spouse, a sibling, an old friend, send them this video today. It might save them a rough night, or worse. Now, foods 3 and 4 are the ones most people get wrong. Let's keep going. Food number 3. Spinach and other leafy greens like Swiss chard, beet greens, and celery. Now this one feels almost unfair, doesn't it? Spinach is one of the healthiest foods on the planet. Iron, folate, magnesium, antioxidants. Every doctor, every dietitian tells you to eat more of it. And they're right. When it's fresh or cooked and eaten right away, spinach is wonderful. The problem is specifically about cooking it, storing it, and then reheating it. Here's why. Spinach and these other greens are naturally very high in compounds called nitrates. In fresh spinach, nitrates are actually beneficial. They support healthy blood pressure and circulation. But once cooked spinach sits in your refrigerator, natural bacteria on the leaves slowly begin converting those nitrates into a different compound called nitrites. And when you then reheat that stored spinach, you're heating a vegetable whose chemistry has already shifted. Food safety authorities in Europe have actually issued formal guidance advising people not to reheat nitrate-rich vegetables that have been cooked and stored. This is a recognized recommendation, not something invented for a video. To be clear and honest with you, eating reheated spinach once isn't going to harm you. This is about a repeated habit over time. The person who batch cooks a big pot of greens on Sunday and reheats it every day through the week. That's the pattern worth changing. Here's what to do instead. Cook leafy greens fresh, in smaller amounts, and eat them right after cooking. If you have leftover cooked spinach, the simplest fix is this. Don't reheat it. Eat it cold. Toss it into a salad or fold it into a cold dish. It's perfectly good cold, and you completely sidestep the issue. The golden detail. Fresh raw spinach in a salad or spinach cooked and eaten immediately. Both are excellent, no concern at all. The one specific habit to drop is cook, store for days, then reheat. Change only that, and you keep all the benefits of one of the world's healthiest foods. And here's number 4, the one I promised would surprise you. Eggs. Eggs are close to a perfect food. Complete protein, all 9 essential amino acids, choline for your brain, lutein and zeaxanthin for your eyes. After 60, when getting enough quality protein becomes more important than ever, eggs are one of the best foods you can eat. I want to be crystal clear. I am not telling you to eat fewer eggs. Eat your eggs. What I'm talking about is one specific habit. reheating already cooked eggs, especially scrambled eggs or a boiled egg, at high heat in the microwave. Here's what happens. Egg yolks contain both fat and cholesterol. When you cook an egg the first time, that's fine and normal. But when you take a cooked egg that's been sitting in the fridge and blast it a second time at high heat, the fats in the yolk oxidize much faster the second time around. Those oxidation byproducts aren't something your body loves. And for those of us over 60, who are often already focused on heart and vascular health, repeatedly eating oxidized fats is exactly the kind of small, invisible habit worth cleaning up. On top of that, high-heat reheating makes egg proteins tighten and cross-link, which makes them harder to digest. That rubbery, sulfur-smelling, reheated egg is a sign of exactly this change. None of this means eggs are dangerous. It means the reheat at high heat habit is the weak link, not the egg. Here's what to do instead. Cook your eggs fresh when you can. It only takes a few minutes. If you like to prep hard-boiled eggs ahead of time, that's great. Store them in the shell and eat them cold. They're delicious cold, and there's no reheating involved. And please don't microwave scrambled eggs or an omelet to reheat them. If you absolutely must warm an egg dish, do it gently, low heat, briefly, never blasted on high. The golden detail. Cold hard-boiled eggs are one of the best high-protein snacks you can keep on hand after 60 naiing. No reheating, no downside, ready to go. Boil a few, keep them in the shell in the fridge, and you've got easy protein all week the safe way. So let's bring it all together. 4 foods, 1 simple principle. Rice. Cool it fast, refrigerate within the hour, eat within a day, reheat only once. The danger is in the slow cooling, not the reheating. Chicken. Eat it cold when you can. If you reheat, heat it evenly, all the way through and only once. Spinach and leafy greens. Cook fresh in small amounts. If you have leftovers, eat them cold instead of reheating. Eggs, cook fresh, or keep hard-boiled eggs in the shell and eat them cold. Skip the high-heat microwave reheat. And notice the pattern across all 4. The food itself is not the enemy. The enemy is the same old habit. Cook a big batch, store it for days, and reheat it over and over. After 60, with a digestive system and an immune response that have earned the right to a little extra care, the smartest move is simply cook smaller, store shorter, reheat less. Let me say something from the heart before we finish. None of this is about being afraid of your own kitchen. I don't ever want you standing at your refrigerator feeling anxious about your food. That's the opposite of what good health looks like. This is about the exact opposite of fear. It's about quiet confidence. Knowing a few simple things that most people never learned, and letting that knowledge take the worry away. Because eating well after 60 isn't about restriction or complicated rules. It's about small, informed choices that let you keep enjoying your meals, keep your energy up, and keep sitting down to dinner feeling good afterward. Not sluggish, not uneasy. The people who age the best aren't the ones who fear food. They're the ones who understand it just a little better than they used to. You now know 4 things that most people don't. That's not a small thing. That's you, taking good care of yourself and of the people you cook for. If you haven't subscribed yet, now's the time. Hit subscribe and turn on the bell, because every week I'm here with information that doesn't just add years to your life, but adds life to your years. And now it's your turn. Which of these 4 foods surprised you the most? The rice, the chicken, the spinach, or the eggs? And is there a food you'd like me to look into next? Drop it in the comments. I read every single one, and your questions shape the next video. I'll see you in the next one. Take good care of yourself, because you are worth the effort.